We're live in it. Sorry for the little delay. Unfortunately, ads are ads and can't be paused. That's unfortunately how life sometimes is. Now we are directly hopping into our action. No further delay, no further pauses. Directly a bomb down, and that from the Order side. As both won their opponent's map pick. Now Avant are in the lead, and honestly, very brutally honest with you, I personally thought right now after we see Mirage, okay, this match is over. This has gotta be just nobody else in order to take in the win. After though, Nuke went so horribly wrong with Avant picking up 90 rounds. I was shocked, very honestly. The previous map put me in shock. And it put me in shock for a very good reason, because on Nuke you would think, I mean, first of all, from such a high sample size as what we have seen from Order, yeah, okay, that's easy. And then it goes like that. Alright, fine. You can only say whatever, unfortunately, to that. Painful. And now let's see what we're gonna get. Avant, as said, on the 1-0 leads train, also a fairly CT-sided map. They try to play it smart. They try to play it with all the utility they can get after the plants that has been happening. The AUK again. Perfect weapon for all those duels. The AK might become a problem, but not when everybody is working just perfectly. No gears grinding. Avant on the second. Yet again. Avant, a team that is, and that has to be said, not even playing Australian MDL. Team that is, from when we just go by the world ranking, right? Not on the level of an Order. Any previous matchups we have seen between Avant and Order went, though, in the way of Avant. Last time they have played was actually during this qualifier on the 1st of June. Back then, it was Nuke, Mirage, and Overpass. This time around, Train instead of Overpass it's gonna be. A clock at least. It strikes. I mean, I got my doubts that it's gonna work. Major mistake from Hazard. And suddenly, it's getting uncomfortable due to the simple reason that the opponent has two wounded players. One extremely low HP, one just on 50 basically. It's making your task a lot more complicated because you gotta be extremely cautious. You don't want to run into any traps. And Alistair behind the smoke waits patiently. Hopes for a mistake from his opponent. Whilst Haz has all the time in his life to get the bomb down. In a round where Order didn't really invest into. And so Alistair waits. Hopes to find Moku. Does that. Retreats immediately and doesn't get caught by the connector players. 9 left onto Sterling, and suddenly things get sinister. The pistol though, oh, it takes down one. It's gonna be only one more. It's Sniper who's gonna be taken out. Order with number 1, and nobody was seeing that one coming. I'm sorry for muting. If you ever had hay fever, you know how bad it can be. Either way, it's not important at the moment. The only thing that is important is to see who's going to make it to the minor. Is it going to be Avant doing that? Is the question. As you see, Azor is taking down Zeph. Seems like the CT control remains superior to some degree, as suddenly Ince again is there with 2. A player we have seen so importantly on Mirage, dealing major impact. But that op reigns supreme. Another one to come, bomb dropped. So Hats to be the last man to turn things around. Goes behind the smoke to his right hand side. He would see the barrel. They don't spot each other. As he waits, there he strikes. Brilliantly done. Avant bouncing back immediately, as needed. So the CT side with the double op setup. I mean, it's a CSGO classic to say it that way. And has Order invested as much as possible into it. Setting themselves up on the back of the B. And that is the wallbang as usual striking. Only MP9 there in the hands of Soju. And this is where a rotation is considered. But only from the CT. So first of all, far more likely there's going to be a CT rotation coming in with players coming down B. But as the Molly holds him up from getting any further pop dock, well, let's take a look. Frags are coming down. Soju. Oh no, it was actually a teammate tagging him. It was his teammate's off, but this is so unfortunate for him. They still seem to more likely rotate to the A side now as they realize all the aggression comes over there. Order could grab the second in case Sniper is not reacting that brilliantly. I mean, he got one frag, couldn't do more at that point then. And only the wallbangs. If that frag would have been working, I could have thought that maybe they go for the retake, but with double op, safe seems immediate and to be the better idea. An Order's second round is well deserved. Bamboozled their opponent a few times, and that for a good reason. Now, I'm looking very much forward to see if Avant are going to struggle throughout the course off train. Would be a bit of a surprise, actually. On the CT side, I mean, getting like 9 rounds seems to be the minimum. Hazard taking down Zeph, and Hats is just waiting for the time, and he hears the FAMAS and immediately comes down. Gets stinked though, and this is making it very uncomfortable for Order. Avant seems to strike back. What we have seen rounds which seem very odd, and then ended very successfully for one of the sides. Nate goes deep. Hardly deals damage. Ince waiting behind the bomb train. Got a bomb. To be hit in the ground anytime soon. I mean, they are scared. They are scared for a good reason. And here's the question: how long can you stay alive when suddenly you make that beep sound? The only thing that really bothered me, and we could discuss about that, is that not the low HP guy was actually going for the plant, so the one with 100 could defend him properly. And so Order, going for that somewhat pistol force, no real upgrades on any other department, no armor, no utility. The best choice, of course, because you don't want to have one of those mixed sloppy buys, and realistically speaking, this is all going in the way of Avant. From that point on, the buy is coming back in. And there's the first timeout. Talking about what could be changed to the setup when we quickly take a look here. No real surprise. I mean, Alistair on Order doing a good job again. We have seen that on the previous maps before. 91-80. I mean, this is a major difference. Though we're only 7 rounds in, basically. So you don't want to make any rushed assumptions. There you see it yet again. In the rounds where the CTs won, I mean, they brought through players quite well, actually. Especially 5 of them. It's very important. Then the shutdown just immediately comes. The spray down works so well. Inns is the man to do it with Alistair. He knows about an elevated individual, but behind the smoke, Hazard! What is this man waiting for? He does not shoot down Inns. I mean, he gets another frag indeed. And as he runs to the crosshair of Moko, I'm still a bit surprised, nevertheless. Sterling and his crew on the right track, on the right path. Sending their opponent into the uncomfortable situation of not having too much money left. So, things are looking all right for Sterling and the boys and the lads and the men, whatever. So, no casualties again would benefit their economy so much. And yeah, well, no real surprise. To give you a little bit of an insight on what it is like on this map, specifically Train. Well, Train is just 0.2 percentage points less CT side than Nuke. 57.1% of the rounds on this map in the last 3 months have been won by the CTs. It's a quite big number if you think about it in a competitive Counter-Strike. The most balanced map, by the way, now is Dust 2. 50-50. Like, legit, 50-50. Next up, Cash, then Inferno. None of the maps we have seen today. but with Inns getting a first kill on the board for his squad, things are looking better and better. A bit of ground to take, and Pop Dog belongs to Hazard now. The players down like that. The tower works brilliantly. Order is bringing some order to the server. At least that's what it feels like. Double Opta now reigns supreme yet again behind the smoke. Zeph is waiting. He could become extremely dangerous, except someone is going to find him. Oh, Sterling gets him, actually. Inns is still coming in from behind. And the security of Inns is all you need. Down to 2 players, and Alistair is just waiting him out, seeing him beforehand. But where is Soju coming from is the question. Behind the bomb train, he'll wait. Doesn't see a thing, and now you could start to rotate quite swiftly. But before they even access the site... It's going to be a man rotating, but taken out in the end. Perfect work from the op. Order, yet again, finding a round, but their opponent is having big bucks in the bank accounts. So they'll be buying up and buying up and buying up. And they'll be feeling very, very happy doing that. Now, 3 players are remaining on Avant. The system could collapse anytime soon. The buy in this one, yeah, was granted. The follow-up, debatable. I mean, 2 players could buy something. 3 end up with bankruptcy. Now bomb being dropped. It seems unrealistic, and Avant might do themselves a favor by going for the safe. And this is exactly what they're doing. Sterling is rotating back. All being brought through, and it's a little unfortunate, very honestly. It is a little unfortunate. To talk about advanced stats, who has to be pointed out on the Avant side is Hazard, with 4 opening duels and won 4 out of 4. Funny-wise, on the opposite side, we have Zeph with 4 opening duels, losing 4 out of 4. Especially interesting yet again is Sterling, because he has a cast of 100, which means he contributes in 100% of the rounds as a kill, assist, trade, or survived. Amazingly interesting to really see that. He also carries around an ADR of 106. Avant, though, you don't want to fall asleep right now. You want to run, and you want to run big time. You want to run to the finish line. And there we have a technical pause. In the meantime, let's take a look at the widget, which is going to tell us what the odds look like. Order that much down is a bit of a surprise. I mean, 7? A 7 is a little odd. And it was a 7-2. Those 2 rounds have a higher impact than some might imagine. The thing, though, is with saving in the previous, they still could make it work with all their reserves, and therefore they have landed in this round. And this is the key round, because we'll be 7-5 in case Order wins. Not only that, it's the third losing bonus, which basically means $2,400. Coming down to those players outside of Sterling, it's not a lot of money. This is not a lot of money. They don't have too much to work with afterwards, which could then start this entire spiral where Order is suddenly, and that's the thing, Order is then suddenly doing surprisingly good on the T site. Getting 6 already is a good basis. That's a solid basis to work on. And they ready up. Order. That aggression seems to go towards the B side, at least for, I mean, they could still go down Pop Duck if they feel like it. But Soldier's going to play such a pivotal role. If he denies the access now, that would be brilliant. No flashbang coming in! They could have just flashed themselves in, but Soldier with the third, now it comes, and he does not stop, not for 1 second. Nobody can deny this man with getting more and more frags as the Terminator of Avant. It's making it look so easy for him. That was astonishing. Now this little pause came in. Tech issue for a second or two. Back alive we are. Avant now having a half already on the back. With Sterling finding such a frack, situation looks more than fine. Order after this round once more will look quite dry on the economic front. So this round has some critical impact to the outcome of this match. First of all, we see Imagine pulling through, going out, and taking out 2 in combination with Zeph. This is now making the A side fairly shaky, as mistakes are made. Sterling doing himself the favor. I mean, the only man who has survived that much, why he accumulated so much money. And yet again, it's not going to look great, and we're going to take a look at it right now, because this will be somewhat sinister. Bind down to the 2k is the question. I mean, Sterling can drop 2 Augs for sure and not have any major downsides. That's going to happen. And they all get quite equipped, actually. Hazard might with a UMP or MP9 in this case. Since it's gonna find the first once more. Avant is reigning supreme, and I'm not so sure if Order even expected that this sort of buy comes in. I understand that it didn't expect it, because who would have thought that's happening? Hazard with 2 and just the MP9 that deals so much damage, surprisingly, and now Ince. Can he get double digits? Sorry, can he deny double digits? That's the right way to put it. Sort of does that. Finds the first frag, but with 1 minute he has to get the bomb, and Hazard's not too interested in it. The 4k is well deserved. Yet again, that is going to be the final half, part of the final round of the half. That's the right way to put it. Order seemed to collapse 1-9. I mean, everything in the start of this already looked sinister, and therefore it's understandable that it goes that way. Things are looking good. And as it is 10-5, Avant's just 6 rounds away. Just 6 rounds away from getting a slot in the Asian Minor. Oh, and with such taps, it's getting absolutely obnoxious. Alistair and co trying so hard. And this is absolutely amazing. Splendid accuracy is getting you such kills. In Order, I mean, they're going to go for it. Alistair finally starts getting into this. And more go their way. The problem is also we got a kit on the side of Order, which means it's going to be all a little bit faster with the defuse. But the pressure is high if the smoke didn't land according to plan. Hats is there with more! Oh, the kit! It's not there! And the defuse is not coming in. A beautiful final frag. But there it goes. And the story of this is so saddening. Order 1 Mirage. It was the map pick of Avant, and there you thought, okay, nuke must be achievable. Hats & Co. ever since failed. And if you want to point out 2 players on both sides, it would be each Sterling and Alistair. And is now... I'm just looking for a bit more. This round, of course, should not get them into a shaky state. No surprise, no wondering. Either way. Avant need to make all their powers converge into one big unit. After this one, full focus to not let order bounce back on the CT site. And if Avant is able to do that, then the sun is shining for them. There they come. Directly pushing down the site. No real surprise that this is near flawless so far, as order stacked more towards the B site. And the thing is, all those this entire roster was based about Soyu. Man joined somewhere in January. And then ever since, Epoch, Hazard, Gyra, and Sterling, they joined. To be very accurate, on the 13th of May. And this team, which is now together for basically a month, is about to take down Order. The number 69 in the world, one of the better, or well, to be very accurate, one of the teams in Australia that has now achieved nothing else than the number 4 slot. Avant 3 behind them. And the patience here from Avant is very enjoyable because you don't want to run into any setup with the Aux in long range, for example, down ramp or something like that. Can they enforce, though, order to send another player over? Yes, they can. And immediately see on the minimap, Alistar rotating back, so important that he comes back. The bomb now drops down anytime soon. They walked a long way around. Instead of just jumping out as soon as possible, they're basically on a pedestal there, up high. That is making it a bit more problematic. Either way, Alistar is one of the mates we pointed out, there for a reason. 2 AKs in the hands. The long range frag of the Zephyr works. More to come though. But Avant, not a chance of this one. Order is somewhat back, but for how long?
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
So comes more down to the B side yet again. Sniper reacted just right, but that bomb dropped. The last 2 rounds didn't seem to be like it was too much of an astute play. And this Ince is taking him down. It's all fine. It's all working. And so only the Glocks come out of them. Maybe we're going to see a break anytime soon. And I honestly gotta say, it would be a shocking outcome for Avant if this one turns around. I mean, the story is nice. The story is one of those motivational ones. I could probably do an entire trailer about it. 1 month together and about to fly to Berlin. The Asian miner. Especially Nuke was very interesting to see from Avant how they played on the T side. Surprisingly outsmarting their opponent. Wouldn't have thought that's going to be happening. There it goes. Order. Money has been accumulated. They're in a good spot for the moment. And so the AKs of the Aussies, they now need to make it work as they split themselves up. Ivy control belonging already to Avant to some degree. An important frag found and immediately rotating back because you don't want to give them a kill. And that's waiting behind Electric together with his teammate. Order fairly splits with only one individual guard in the B side. Thankfully for them, no real aggression coming out of them yet. For 55 more seconds, the majority moves for Ivy. Smoke already ready, and that pops on the A side anytime soon. Do they sell it? Is it going to be the op reigning supreme, or do they sell it? Alistair starts off good. The bomb now spotted. One has passed. And this is making it so dangerous. Avant, they send one through, and the second found by Hats as well. And the entire system collapses. They got the entry, and Alistair is so good with his kills. That his strength once more gives him another Ince. Is going to be there to support, and Sterling doing himself the favor by saving up.
Counter-terrorists win.
that boost. Sterling opening up things so brilliantly. Avant, they're bringing the AWP into play. And if that AWP can do more, we're going to see that. In the meantime, it's mainly Eagles that are in the hands of those players. Finding one or two more and things could open up massively. In the meantime, it's 60 seconds. And extremely dangerous could be hats. His patience could be key. But then they push out. Hats finds the first. And look how afraid Hazard is. He's so afraid, but the Deagle, it makes it work as the flash pops. He just jumps out. A bit of a lucky timing, you could say. And then it's tied. Portland, it's actually a 3v2. That's the right way around it. The AWP up there is going to be extremely dangerous, and so those players, they're getting onto the site. Soju takes down Inns. Avant needs to find one more, and Zeph is the only one to turn this one around. He goes around the bomb train, tries so desperately, but he's out. Avant really turned this one around. A single AWP that changes the outcome, gets them the entry, and makes them look so good. And as immediately one control wants to be taken, Sterling is not going to get Alistair, as there's a bit of a, let's say, flame thrower coming in. I think they must have heard a player down Pop Duck though as he was walking into the flames. Not quite sure if it was Hats or Al. It must have been Hats. So they instantly reacted. Alistair, funny wise, not being smoked off so often, find very confusing. Sterling though gets that kill, and that is making it all a bit better. The bomb still needs to hit the side. The flames have denied further access, but now he must be able to get on it and plant a C4. We see nobody from Order yet flanking around. It could be happening in case Inns is feeling it, but not really yet. Sterling, dodges his death. He must have seen somebody towards Catwalk already. Look at this patience. Behind the smoke he waits. Down the ramp, he's just hoping to find kills anytime soon. Lets the first one pass. Another one coming close. A whiff though it is. And this means a few more players only making one. Hats on 3 HP to be the hero in this round, but I doubt it. But do I doubt it for good is the question. Only one more. It's gonna be Sniper. You need to peek. You need to peek, and he does it. For a second, it seemed like this might be slipping away, but Avant with the 14th, and now take a look at the money of Order. It's devastating. It's abysmal. I mean, the silence before the storm. I mean, very realistically, right? A 15-9 seems inevitable to some degree. We let the opportunity slide. That's about a ticket for the miner, representing Australia. Greyhound already did it yesterday. Fighting funny-wise Avant, who actually went onto 3 maps against the team of Dick Stacy, which, I mean, honestly, considering how good Greyhound is or how good they're rated, a bit of a surprise. I mean, they nearly 2-0'd them, which would have been a shocker, period. The silence around the map. Must feel a bit uncomfortable, pardon me. And the time and the patience, I'm not quite sure if I like it off Avant, but on the other side I don't want to do any mistakes. The thing though which bothers me is that this is hardly giving them any wiggle room. If those pistols get a surprise lucky punch, that could end very unfavorable, but the bomb is getting down nevertheless. Alistair is coming a little late to the party. He comes with no booze. He's trying to crash it. He's crashing at least the party partially. Now Sterling, far away from being in a driver's seat, but having a bit of an opportunity. Does he rather save the AK? He's now definitely spotted and known. And they let him have it. They let him have it. And the thing is, it's gonna be 15-9. And it's just a third losing bonus. The weapon lost. It's alright. I mean, you can work with that. Don't get me wrong. And there's the final timeout. Gotta discuss it a last time. And what did they talk about in this break? What is it that now gets Order back on track to win 6 in a row and then successfully end overtime? It's a bit shocking what we see from few individuals. Imagine and Seth on 4 and 6 after 25 rounds. Whilst Alistair is just carrying massive backpack he got on. That massive backpack carries heavy loads. They don't want to allow themselves any mistakes. Close this case and say bye-bye to Order. As they patiently waited out, Alistair and his teammates got perfect eyes on that. So there we come. Players pushing out. That is the Brain and Supreme. One goes down. A few more to come. Sterling is going to fall down as well. This is all collapsing. And Order are back to someone in the driver's seat. Except Avant has more to say. I mean, Sniper tries, but very realistically, it's not going to happen. And take a look at the Avant money. Could be more ideal. Could be much more ideal. Then, I mean, Avant probably won't stand a chance, no doubt about it. There you go. No real surprise. There's a timeout. Very important. This timeout needed. You don't want to slip. You don't want to see this go into OT. Under no circumstance. And there you see, Avant is not looking too great with their buy. I mean, the UMP and the Galil are not ideal. Sure. Oh, just nearly dodging death. Down to 26 makes him an easy one for any of those body shots. So the Ivy control wants to be taken. Ivy would be so important, but one drops down in a second. Soju. The way he baits him is hilarious. Still, the nade goes deep. That hurts. And Avant, they're running out of opportunities and they're running out of time. Is it going to be the nerves? Their own concentration to be the mistake that leads them into defeat? Smoke pops, 35 seconds, and they push through. Now it is time. Going out Ivy, they do. The nade lands so perfectly, and two others die. It's no real time left, and everybody is falling left, right, and center. Avant. You don't want to believe it. As though things start turning around in a matter of seconds. Hold on, how did Soju find two? All focus on Ivy to get the bomb down, and suddenly it's only Alistair to be left alive. This is shocking, and Order can only rely on their hero, the man who was wearing the cape throughout the entire match anyway. Got a kit and 28 points of health. He can't ninja defuse under no circumstance. So, he's checking corner by corner. Scope has been hurt. Gonna find one. Sniper needs to come. This is a mistake. This is a failure. He now spotted, and it's working! Alistair! Does he bring it in time? Is it going to be enough? No, it isn't! Milliseconds that have separated victory from another round, and it's 16-11. Avant make it to the minor. And Alistair on Order with 30 frags is shrugging, asking, how in God's name did that happen? Saddening. Simply saddening.